Hello there. Oh, hold on, I don't have Steam open. Let me get that. I need coffee. There we go, there it is. Alright, hey everybody. Huh? Oh yes, I'm terrified. I am shaking in my boots. You really got me. Own boots. Come on, it's not even spooky month yet. Wait till October. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. If I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe. Nick, today well, don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You would do well to cease this insanity while you still can. Oh, it's you. Never mind. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Aren't I, like, way past this? Yeah. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. Hey, November. Rafa's insight. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Hey, Kiwi. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally, he passed from our world. Except he didn't recolor the water. That didn't happen. I've never played Return of the Obra Dinn. That's by Lucas Pope, right? That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Papers, Please is great, so I should probably try Obra Dinn. Or Obra Dinn, however you pronounce it. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me! A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess's divine insight. Oh, did you end up finding contradictions last time? Deceased's final memories included all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me, too. Sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights last time. So there could be contradictions between what Abbott in me felt and her insights, huh? You got it. I'm going to find them this time, too. Should I check how to point it? Come on, I've done this before. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Alby's trial. In which case, I'd better keep an eye on the changes in intensity, too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. As then looked more like he rammed into the knife, which is weird. The transformation rite. Wait, I should read it more. Footsteps. Wind. He heard the footsteps, but the footsteps were after... That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Well, that one I think had a broken thing. save.
Objection!
There we go. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Barbed Head. The footsteps are strange because the timing doesn't make sense. The timing doesn't make any sense. There shouldn't be any footsteps. There should not be footsteps as the accused was approaching the victim? Really? Then do you suggest that the accused was actually floating through the air? Well, I mean... I suggest you hold your tongue. Suggestion noted. If that's not it, then... What? There's definitely something strange about those footsteps. They're strange because they're not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Huh? Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, Your Benevolence? Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
We've embarrassed her a second time. It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? Ray, fuck off. He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your Benevolence, perhaps you must listen more carefully to the Adbit's mitama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. Ray, fuck off, and I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the mitama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Oh, blessed mitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. Bells? Footsteps changed into bells? What could this mean? Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were... Ah, that jingling must have come from Abbott Inme's bells. Yeah, because he ran at the fucking killer. That much was obvious. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. Hold on. The sound of the bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps. Then that means... If the footsteps belong to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. Which you could tell just from the vision, but okay. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe. Eh. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Still your voices! This is nothing but a theory, a game theory, and a poor one at that. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation.
Objection!
While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Sadmati? Even if it was Abbot in me who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. Ah. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. Understand now, lawyer, that contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. See, the fact that it was Abbot in me who moved changes nothing. Ah, come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. Stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insight. So the flames were protected before he brought up the sutra. But now the wind is blowing this flame, which is interesting. Water? Why does he hear water? He ran into the fountain. Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Objection!
Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbot in me would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes. I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. Yeah, I think I He had to have, like, rammed into the fucking statue, right? Were the robes placed on this crane statue? What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes. And the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Pulunkat, that is absurd! This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates. Ah! Then where do you suppose the accused stood when she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. I mean, she was like around here, right?
Take that!
Okay, that was the wrong guess. Where was she then? Was she by the broken one? He was going towards the fountain. Why would she be in the fountain? Or was she standing in the spring? Oh! This was during the Rite of Water, not the transformation rite. She would have been in the spring. You're right.
Take that!
Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbott and me and Miss Fey were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this rites guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fey had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. What is going on here, Miss Fey? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. A high priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite. What on earth? Is that even possible?
That's enough!
Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. He must have turned around while he had the sutra out. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick, Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence's insight have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insight. That's right, we now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record, and confirm where Maya and Abbott and me were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Butterflies look fine from far away, but they're pretty gross close up. The wind was blowing this one, but... the broken lantern's over here. Did someone change the position of the broken lantern? Because from his perspective, the broken lantern should have been here. The actual killer was in the fountain. I don't know where the fuck the killer was, because I think what happened was somebody fucking draped the fucking, like, robes over that statue, that Warbad statue, and then he fell on it. Stats far-fetched. You can just Google that, Aniv.
Objection!
Nope, it's not counting it. But that is weird. So... wait, what? No, you can see the... You can see the borders of the flag. Maya was not standing in the fountain then. We can't see the flag borders anymore here, so by this point he's turned around and is facing the fountain. Okay, can I point out the, tent walls? If I can't point out the fountain.
Objection!
No, I didn't think it was gonna let me do that. The broken lantern is away from the fountain, but they didn't let me pick it. Oh wait, I had the wrong thing picked. Oh, I forgot to change the testimony. Hold on. What? What the fuck? Huh? I can't click anything. Hold on. The game's soft locked. That was weird. Or I guess that wasn't really a soft lock. More like a hard lock, I don't know. What? Huh? Why can't I play it anymore? I can't select shit either. Okay. I guess this save is boned. What the fuck? Capcom, what the hell is happening here? Even after I loaded my save, it was still locked. Guess I'll have to use the autosave. God, I hope that wasn't too far back. Yeah, Adam broke this game. I don't know how, but it has to be his fault. Oh god, now we gotta skip the... Ugh. Never would have expected an Ace Attorney game to break on me, but here we are. Kinda assumed it was, damn near impossible to fuck up a visual novel. over this. It's easy to fuck up a visual novel, just play Doki Doki. Do you mean in the sense that Doki Doki is, like, a dark game? Or do you mean in the sense that, like, Doki Doki has, like, some performance issues I'm unaware of? Here we go. Springside Lantern, but that's not possible.
Objection!
Gonna be honest, most of Doki Doki Literature Club is, agonizingly boring. I'm sorry. Pretty much anything that's not horror is just a fucking snooze fest. I don't care about, like, any of the characters. Your benevolence, I found a new contradiction. You did. No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights. Nope, take a good look at what the victim saw. It might just change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should have been one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. O blessed Mitama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Yes, there is. That means that the rite of fire happened. The abbot could not have gotten to the rite of fire. That's literally like the last one. Ceremony ends with the rite of fire in which the priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. But the abbot was killed in the rite of water. Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. Sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished even during an investigation. That would never fly back home. Well, Barbed Head, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Mitama. Nick. Don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. No, she wasn't. The High Priest is thought to have been moving towards her, so I should look for sensations that I whistled. So I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accused's accusation against Maya. The accusation against Maya. So the issue is that it's the rite of fire, right? Okay, we can see the broken lantern there now. But if the wind guard was down, then it's the rite of fire, not the transformation rite. Right?
Objection!
God fucking damn it. How do I point out that they're going in the wrong way? Or that this is the wrong order, rather.
Objection!
That's not it. The first statement?
Objection!
No. I'm getting mad. Hold on, let me check the rights again. Wait. Hey, Niv. Yeah, that's what makes sense. Which statements have I tried? Check the map again. The map or the rights? Broken lantern. Spring. I mean, the thing is, if it's the right of fire, like, isn't the idea that they didn't get to the right of fire? Am I wrong about this? Okay, maybe I point that out with the transformation right, like, selected.
Objection!
Statement with the lantern. Bowing to the lanterns. Is that the one you mean? Or do you mean this one? The third one. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring side with the broken lantern. How is that contradictory, though? Whatever, I'll try it. Yeah, the broken one wasn't by the spring. We tried to, like, point that out. Hold on, I'll give it a shot.
Objection!
It worked? I don't understand. 'Cause, like... Why would the position... I don't... Whatever, let's just see what the game says. What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight, but this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out, and the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sadmati? Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Like, I thought we established the priest turned around, right? That's why I didn't think the broken lantern was a contradiction. Because he turned around, and then the one that, like, was open for the Rite of Flame... I don't know, hold on. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything, with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch what Abbot in me saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Faye is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. Okay, so we didn't establish to the court that he was turned around. Okay. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision. I thought this was established, so it confused the shit out of me. I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying, the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell... I mean, Maya and the Abbot, right? Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya actually standing? Right here. Like I said the first time, but I'll save it.
Take that!
I don't know what your problem with the mood matrix is, if I'm being perfectly honest. Okay. She had to have been here, right? She wasn't in the spring. She should be between the two lanterns.
Take that!
I guess the game doesn't like that, though. What? Where was Maya based on the broken lantern? She's here. What the fuck? Stupid tolerance on the positioning. Okay, hold on. Let me try this.
Take that!
Oh, fuck you! Really? Come on! Fucking hell, game! Yeah, that's a 1-5 earn moment. Ugh. Click better, I guess. Yeah, skill issue. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Hold it! Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No. This is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. Are we just now establishing that the abbot turned around? I thought we established that a while ago. Really? Obviously he turned around because they aren't the same lantern. How did they not catch that? Fuck! The victim had to have been moving towards the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? Not a great start to this case. No, and the last case that we had in fucking Kurain sucked too. For kinda similar reasons, just the case not being well structured. Like, so far, the only case I enjoyed was the second one. This one is already getting on my nerves, especially considering that, once again, Maya is the defendant, which, that alone is so fucking annoying. Bullshit answer on the bingo? Yes. Mark bullshit answer on the bingo. Spirit of Justice is, like, pissing me off. Which I've, like, never, like, every Ace Attorney game finds a way to piss me off with, like, a bullshit answer, but, like, Spirit of Justice is doing it more consistently than the others. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Because he had the paper up, you idiot! Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? Because you're all stupid. There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was, in fact, turning around in that moment.
Objection!
If it is as the defense asserts that her benevolence's insights no longer make sense, how do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything. It's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadmati. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence. Embarrassing this bitch in court is funny every time, though. A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is... I mean, I guess the order of the rites? The Rite of Turnabout is the name, that's funny. Oh, the game didn't like that. Yeah, there must have been another person. Allegedly, even though there's... Like, the costume was on the bird statue. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when, suddenly, he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be. Oh, but it can. And it is. The insight stating that Hugh stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind the testimony of the dead. Puh. Po. Po. Purungka! Weakest game of the franchise by far. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have any negative feelings towards Sudmati at this point, because we don't really know that much about him yet. Hey, Das. Like, we don't know about his association with Apollo. Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Yeah, they did execute innocent people because of Rafa's insights. Mm. Have I misunderstood the voice of the Mitama yet again? Although, this cannot be. Although, in her defense, she was raised in this stupid culture. So she was, like, told to just take the visions at face value and was just kind of doing what she was used to. The issue is Kurain fucking sucks. It's not just Rafa, it's this whole fucking country. Rafa is a symptom, not the disease. Whew, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Like, as much as we dunk on Rafa, at the end of the day, she's a 14-year-old. Of course she's an awful person. Teenagers are awful. But that's why teenagers shouldn't hold power of position in fucking court. I don't blame her, I blame whoever the fuck decided to make her so important. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yeah, it is like the Utah students. Oh, that highlight is dropping in like half an hour, by the way. I hope you get war crimed. And that was the story of how Das committed the Kuranese genocide. I will overturn the brass accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. The Kurain 9/11. Planet of no lawyer. More like the planet of no bitches. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Sadmati? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. Okay, I will say this, though. Regardless of what you think of Prosecutor Sadmati, in my opinion, he is the most fuckable prosecutor. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials lacking a seance. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. I'll take Clavier. This guy's more feminine than Clavier, so I like him more. Clavier is kind of a twink, though. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. Do you like anime? You should watch... I, don't know kanji. Das trying to tell us that Pain is good looking. Well, I guess we know which prosecutor Das wants to fuck the most now. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. Wow, are we using actual forensics now instead of bullshit seances? I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. And then again, break the recording. Hold on. Okay. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. And again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. I love what that translates to. Fine, I'll check it myself. Hold on. What? Bitches of Moon. My favorite anime. Bitches of Moon. I mean, hey. Deep L's? Okay, hold on. Bitches of the month. English UK? Bitches of the month for use. Oh man. Translation software is fun. You get to know bitches. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this.
Take that!
I wish they used Franziska in Recipe for Turnabout. Why? Oh yeah, she would have whipped the shit out of the creepy old man. Oh, and Furio Tigre, yeah. I think Franziska is like the most comedic prosecutor. She doesn't have like a tragic backstory like Edgeworth or Godot. She just whips people and it's very funny. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did? Yeah, like everybody, like Edgeworth, tragic backstory. Godot, tragic backstory. Clavier, blood relation to a fucking psychopath who is like the main antagonist. Simon Blackwill, tragic backstory. And I'm sure Sudmati has some sort of backstory. As far as we know, Pain might have a tragic backstory. No, I think everything about Pain is tragic in general. He did? It's not a tragic backstory. The tragedy is happening every day of his life. Clavier didn't seem to care about his brother, though. Yeah, no, he got over it pretty quickly. Lamau, you're going to prison, bro. Pain is anime George Costanza. Oh, man. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace! I don't understand. I heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? What's the most satisfying breakdown of the series? Damon Gant. Damon Gant has the best breakdown, just because, like, the case is so long and he's such a smug piece of shit. It's so great seeing him taken down a notch. It is basic, it's just him laughing and clapping, but it really works, I think. It seems like as the series went on, they got more creative with breakdowns, but Damon Gant just works. Kristoff's is up there. Yeah, I don't know why he went Super Saiyan. That was weird. The Phantom's breakdown was rad. Ooh, oh yeah, Matt Onguard. I love that breakdown where he scratches the shit out of his face. The Phantom breakdown is fun. I like that one. I especially love him getting fucking sniped at the end. He gets fucking shot. It's so funny. Dahlia's is a live exorcism. What the fuck? Worst breakdown is like... Fuck, I can't even remember her name. The bitch from 4-2. Hers was like the most boring. Acro is bad. Adrian Andrews? That was uncalled for. I mean, yeah. Yeah, what Adrian Andrews went through was very nasty. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? The High Priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. The High Priest, a devout follower of Quranism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Oh yeah, Edgeworth. Miss Andrews, whether or not you choose death is of no concern to me. Yeah, that was fucked. That was real fucked. I don't think I felt worse for a witness than I have for Adrian Andrews. Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection!
The third party was the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and the High Priest was a rebel. Your mockery of Quranism, no. Of the kingdom of Qurain itself knows no bounds. Oh, I agree with that, Electrica. Yeah, you know what? I think Sudmati... I think Sudmati's biggest issue was that he came after Simon Blackwill, because Blackwill has, like, so much fucking screen presence, and is so, like, scary and fucked up. Meanwhile, this guy is just like, you have a putrid brain, so there. It's like, really cannot compare to a prosecutor who has, like, tried to slit our throats before. The kingdom of Khura'in itself knows no bounds. Whoops. That shameless Pokemon lawyer is making a mockery of our religion. Just wait for the prequel games. Yeah, I don't even know who the prosecutor is gonna be in the prequel game. I saw the first case, and the first case, unsurprisingly, was like one of Payne's ancestors. As a faithful Khura'inist, I take issue with these claims, and I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense's claims are but vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot Inni was a distinguished monk and very well respected too, so yeah. Okay, but, like, have you guys forgotten the first case? Like, that guy was also a very well-respected figure, and he turned out to be a murderer. Ugh, please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Khura'in. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How is that possible when he had his back turned toward Maya Fey? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can he be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well, let us call this eyewitness to the stand. Oh, this guy. The guy who we established as the escaped convict. It's him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, I'm, you know, that so-and-so, whatchamacallit. Anonymous TBD. To be decided? At least that's what they've been calling me. Anonymous. Ugh. TBD. The TBD part is funny. His name is Anonymous, but also it's to be decided. At least that's what they're calling me. TBD, as in to be determined? Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, if someone has amnesia, you should rush them to the hospital. Everyone's idea of, like, the media has destroyed the way we think of amnesia. Where it's like, oh, you get hit on the head and then you forget. It's like, no, you have brain damage. You have to get to the hospital or you're going to drop dead from an aneurysm. Therefore, I named him Anonymous, TBD, in my report. But he thinks TBD is part of his name.
Objection!
You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear, I've already questioned him at length. You're not wrong, Electrica. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Immis, please tell us what you saw. It's funny that we, like, immediately figured out this guy was the escaped convict just from his nose. At night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. Also, this is kind of, you know, Yanni Yogi again, where it's like, oh, the fucking bad guy is actually, like, this goofy old man. This goofy old man who, like, just seems funny is actually, like, a major villain. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. There's no way you saw Miss Faye stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or don't remember at any rate. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Mr. Immis, I was wondering, what can I do for you? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it? Good point. His Majesty 8 raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Immis? On the day of the right, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Are you able to see anything 800 meters above you? Yeah, good point. That doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't be able to see past the curtains if he was over here. Like, there's no way he could see it. Maybe hypothetically if he looked through the door, but that, like, he'd have to be at an angle that's, like, really weird. It's just not feasible. Nick, don't we have a newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. Cold front overnight. Interesting. See? Told you so. Well, it would appear that the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. Immis, I too have a question for you. Didn't he already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot. How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand? Yep, I believe she was. That doesn't match the vision. That literally doesn't match the vision. Like, we saw it. She would have had to have it, like, pointed outwards from the top of her right hand. If you're going to stab somebody with the knife coming out of the bottom of your hand, you have to, like, raise your arm and elbow. It doesn't make sense. It's called a reverse grip. Ah, I thought as much. Hold on, I have to use the bathroom. Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on this case? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes, after your soul writhes for centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin, with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. What? That, again, doesn't... Okay. Then who does he think the fucking person in the robes was? Thus, Mr. Immis's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. And it coincides with her benevolence's insights as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum.
Hold it!
Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Immis? Was it really Mount Pony Pony that you climbed? Oh, I'm sure of it. It was really Pony Pony-ish. It was a really Pony Pony-ish mountain. What does that even mean? You know, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
Hold it!
If you hate crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you have just as easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pony Pony? Wrong, bucko. This is once a year. Epic event. I wanted to pray as close to the actual thing as possible. If you're so gung-ho about it, why didn't you go pray at the Plaza of Devotion? Like I said, I hate crowds. I wanted to pray in peace. Oh, holy mother, why do I only get the annoying ones? And my burning faith demanded that I climb up to the mountain closest to the inner sanctum. Also, I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around...
Hold it!
Since nobody was around, there's nobody who can corroborate your actions either. Oh, you're exactly right. In that case, Mr. Immis, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen? Oh, about that. If you get caught climbing the surrounding mountains on the day of the riot, you can get in big, big trouble. That's it? Yeah, it's totally embarrassing getting yelled at when you're a grown-up. He didn't want to get yelled at. Yeah, you're a real grown-up, alright. And since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition and... I used my binoculars to spy on the riot at the inner sanctum. So can I point out the obvious? Or is it not going to accept that as a proper objection? that there's no way in hell he was able to see it. Like, that's not physically possible.
Objection!
Fuck you, game. That's not possible. He couldn't have fucking seen it from there. That makes 0 sense.
Hold it!
You had a pair of binoculars with you. That's pretty convenient. You weren't planning to spy on the ride all along, were you? Actually, I just happened to have them for bird watching. Bird watching, huh? I see. You're not going to keep pressing him on this. He's sketchy as heck, but I don't really have anything I can sink my teeth into yet. Oh, okay then. I love the great outdoors. That's just the kind of guy I am. The guy called Anonymous TBD. He's really starting to get on my nerves. As I looked through my binoculars, I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger.
Hold it!
Did you really see what you say you did? Are you saying I'm lying about this? Well, I'm not. It's etched permanently in this old noggin. But I didn't do what you say I did. I didn't even get a chance to touch the dagger on the day of the rite. Where I know that? All I know is what I saw. I never even seen you before in my life. What possible reason could I have to lie? I didn't expect there to be any witnesses way up there. But I don't remember doing that at all. I know. I have a feeling the witness is lying. There has to be an inconsistency somewhere in his testimony. I should take another look at the court record. Yeah, I already found the inconsistency. He shouldn't be able to see up there. That's, like, physically impossible, but I guess the Ace Attorney games think it's not. Oh. Oh, don't you dare tell me. No, no, no. No, no, do not do this. I will be so mad.
Objection!
Fuck you! I had to present the curtain. Even though the curtain's visible here, and you can immediately see that you shouldn't be able to fucking see up there! Are you blind? Oh, I'm so mad. I had my doubts about this bushy-bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. Immis. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Yes, recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual court curtain. Adoy! You fucking think? Why, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't have possibly seen the murder happen. How is this? Oh my god. Oh, ah. Mr. Immis, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? Hey, you got me! The witness will lower his voice. I didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused herself. What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight, I beg you. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger. Shadows, that's what you saw? Maya would have been wearing the fucking outfit. That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Immis, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistry. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. You have to be kidding me. Hey, Red Jesta. What are we gonna do now, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual right and what Mr. Immis says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. Yeah, no, she would have been in, like, the fucking outfit that covers your entire body.
Objection!
Really now? Maybe I press it first? Whatever, I'll just press the whole thing. I saw there's shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain.
Hold it!
So what you saw were simply shadows. That's right. There were shadowy figures on that bright white curtain. They showed through plain as day. I could see everything that happened. But Miss Fay and Abbott and me were at the top of the mountain late at night. The only light up there was coming from 4 small lanterns. How could the shadows have been projected that clearly onto the curtain? No wonder people harp on you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. The lanterns weren't the only source of light, you know. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night.
Hold it!
You claim to have seen the shadowy figures that were projected onto the ritual curtain. But did you see them, Mr. Immis? Of course I did. The bright moonlight projected them onto that curtain, clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from my front row seat on Mount Pony Pony. Guess the moon does shine a bit brighter when you're way up there. Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that night? I remember there weren't any clouds, and that the moon was definitely out. But I don't remember if it could cast any shadows. Okay, thanks. You can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible that it was bright enough. To cause shadows to appear. I remember it just like it happened. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused, reverse gripping that dagger.
Hold it!
And how could you tell? Hang on. How do you know it was Miss Fay if all you saw were shadows? Thanks, Jesta. It was that little bun on top of her head. Alright, here we go. Didn't need to see her face. That distinctive bob's a dead giveaway. Never underestimate my keen sense of observation. Now that's one funny haircut. It's not nice to make fun of a girl's hairstyle. I like my hair this way. Besides, you're the one to talk, you Sasquatch. You're not into this wild, manly look I'm sporting? Shows what you know, little girl. Nick, isn't there some kind of crime you can charge him with? I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. Now he claims he only saw shadows. His testimony has sketchy written all over it. Yeah, she's nearly 30. And there must be an inconsistency in there somewhere. Yep, Was he really watching everything from Mount Pony Pony? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. The conditions of the rite? Full moon. Okay, it has to be the rights guide, right? Because she should be in the cloak by now.
Objection!
I am so mad. I am so fucking mad right now. I hate this case.
Objection!
He wouldn't have been able to see her top knot. It doesn't make any sense. Am I supposed to point out the cold front or whatever?
Objection!
I think I'm just gonna look up a guide. My enthusiasm for this case is, like, completely dead. Like, I feel like whatever answer I get, I'm not going to feel satisfied. Turnabout Big Top has some competition. No, I don't see pedophilia I don't see pedophilia in this anywhere. I'm not being forced to defend a groomer. Rights guide on the second statement? I thought I did that.
Objection!
I didn't do that? What? You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight. Why would that not be possible? What does that mean? Why wouldn't that be possible? Hold on, let's see what it says. Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? How is it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible! I think I'm gonna need a logical Lee's translation on that. Let's take a look at this rights guide, shall we, Mr. Immis? The right is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Yes, I noticed that. Doot, doot, doot. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. What? The moon's shadows would... What? Not in his direct... What? No! It's directly above. Light from above should illuminate, like, the whole thing, shouldn't it? When you put a light source above something, it illuminates everywhere. Why would... What? Am I just fucking stupid? The purification rite is a 3-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over... when the moon is directly Oh. I forgot. They're not a... Oh no, I fucked up. This is Pony Pony, right? This is a different mountain. Okay, that was a brain fart. I'm embarrassed now. Oh boy. Yikes. For some reason, I thought Pony Pony was the name of this mountain. Yeah, Pony Pony's the empty one. Atom Moment? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I take it back. I'm sorry. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. Yeah, it was just a fucking brain fart. Oh well. But Mr. Immis was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony Pony. Oh, holy mother. That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lantern that cast the shadows he saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames are too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Immis claims to have seen. But I didn't see those silhouettes, really. But how could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible? Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Immis really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. Aw, thanks, Jesta. And that would be? The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Immis really did see those shadows is... he wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Doot doot doot. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? Someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures naturally. Yeah, I think I can guess. Wait, you mean... Wrong thing. Where's the... diagram? I don't remember. There it is. He was over here. That's the only thing that makes sense. He was waiting behind the curtain for something. None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he clearly could have seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Immis was at the time of the murder. Inner Sanctum, right? Is that what it's called? I'm forgetting the name of the location. Alright, that's it. Mr. Immis was at the Inner Sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Hoo-ha! Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. But wasn't the Inner Sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Sudmati would rather not touch right now. Oh, you mean... That's right, the witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could have been the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. You! What?
Objection!
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the sanctum, and the only way up there are the stairs that start at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space when he escaped from prison? Oh, he must have, I haven't thought that far ahead. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on 3 sides and a steep towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Immis was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right, I wasn't at the Inner Sanctum. No sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't. Then, what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane! I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. Peace, peace I say. This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the Inner Sanctum. It just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Immis. I believe in you, Nick. Rah, rah, sis, boom, ba. Fight, fight, Phoenix Wright! Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. This country does suck. If I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Immis, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. I was never at the Inner Sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. Now will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there. Mr. Wright, it is not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell. Currentism is the strictest religion ever. And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years. Plus the 5 they started with, that's 700 million years of torment. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. Sounds like someone's vacuuming in the hallway. Doesn't seem to be picking up on the mic, though, so that shouldn't matter. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? People vacuum the hallway? Yeah, sometimes the hallway of the apartment needs... Why? Because it needs cleaning? Like, there's carpet out there. It has to be vacuumed once in a while. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you.
Hold it!
Are you sure you weren't there? All I'm sure of is that you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers always like this? Most certainly. They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. You tell that to Apollo. Yikes, you mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis! Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Whew, that was a close one. You almost put me there at the scene of crime when I wasn't even there. How much I'm sure of, even with my fuzzy memory.
Hold it!
You just said your memory was fuzzy. I sure did. What's the big deal? I'll tell you what. Your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing. Here we go again. If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Immis? Exactly. Guess you don't get to be a judge for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum. If you have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. I'm to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention. It's gonna be he fell from the sky, I think. Because he had to have come from the prison on top of the cliff, right? Maybe you fell from the sky? The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Immis could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear, and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. Yet he had to have gotten down from the prison. He's the escaped convict. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was. Even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the Sacred Mountain? That is Royal Penitentiary number 4. Oh right, Princess Rafa mentioned there was a prison up there. I don't know why there's a prison next to a holy site. That makes no sense. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. Okay. By helicopter? Why put a prison up there to begin with? This is stupid. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. That's so stupid. Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. How did you escape the prison in the first place, though? Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Immis. Unless the cloak is the parachute? Oh, no, 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 no. Do not tell me. Do not fucking tell me that's it. Do not tell me he flew with the fucking cloak. That doesn't make sense. It's not like I can fly through the air either. Is it this? Is this how he got down?
Objection!
Okay. That's still stupid. Mr. Amos is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the inner sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm right on track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Purunka! The people of Kurain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Immis? There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Mr. Immis? All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all. You're... As you suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks. Mr. Immis, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? What? No way, no how. It's like this, oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute, it's a homemade paraglider. A paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? No! In no universe would that work. It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. That would not work! That's not how physics works! I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. Unless you have an actual paraglider, you're not getting up there with a fucking quilt, basically. A quilt of flags. But then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum. So you just happened to land there. Nothing happened because there was no wind. You expect me to believe that? No, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explication. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony. This case sucks. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum. What accidents? As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident. Mr. Immis, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it now. Continue such slipshod testimony and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails. Ugh, now that's too far. Where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. That is way too much of a punishment, man. No way, dude. That's fucked up. I wouldn't wish that on Hitler. Ooh-ah! I think I'll pass on that. Actually, I would wish that on Hitler. Hold on. Oh, the new video's out. And Adam DM'd me because he wants timestamps. Which is fair enough. Hold on. Oh, that's Adam's channel, not mine. Whoops. Alright, nearly 1,500 views in half an hour. That's okay, I guess.
The way that they—
Hello, Super Mew. Hold on. Okay, so we have the beginning.
give it.
75.
And I get tricked. What's happening here? With the one furry. So, well, it's like, I don't know, maybe that person's a furry. Set up for what? Walk through the steps here. Let's say gubernatorial nominee. Let's see. Yeah. So
Yeah, it is 5 hours and a 200 gigabyte file that I cannot wait to delete.
we're gonna read through this a little. Taylor just believe afraid fuck because they believe they're cats. They still wouldn't let them fucking piss in a litter box. Like, even if we got to that point where it was like, oh yeah, that's their identity and we're not gonna literally never blah 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 blah.
Top of that.
The thing is, this gets a news story.
A lot of untrue rumors going around.
It actually is not something that's been occurring. In fact, a lot of the information that's been put out there is completely incorrect and inaccurate.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop recording and also shut off the YouTube stream temporarily.